Hey, good afternoon, Russell Hotels. Going live just for a couple of minutes. Hope you guys are doing well. Happy Thursday. Hope you guys are doing all right. I'm just making sure I am live on the platforms I'm supposed to be live on. I was having some issues yesterday, and I thought, there we go. Finally, I don't understand what was giving me the blues yesterday. But anyway, hope you guys hope all is well. Every now and then this thing logs me out, and I got to remember my darn password. Sometimes I don't remember it, and it took me a couple minutes to remember it just now. But anyway, it's done. It's up and running now. So let me just turn on the chat here. You guys are more than welcome to make chats or make conversation, engage, because engagement is encouraged. Okay, so I do definitely encourage that. You're live on, or I'm live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and X. Okay, maybe even Instagram. I'm not even sure. I haven't even checked Instagram. I don't know, but you let me know my live on Instagram. But definitely LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and X. Okay, so definitely those four. You can make your comments. Doesn't matter what platform you're on. If you see me, you can make your comments, and they'll come on my screen here. I use this thing called Ecamm Live and Restream to communicate with you. So it's a whole vibe. It's a whole thing, right? But this is a daily check-in, right? So I do the daily check-in Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Talk about everything hospitality, the good, the bad, the ugly, sometimes the challenging, and some things that we need as hospitality professionals. I've been on this whole sales kick for the last, I don't know, couple of weeks where I talk about, different things that salespeople need. What do salespeople need to be successful? What's proactive versus reactive sales. I talked about that yesterday. Today is going to be something maybe a little similar to that, but maybe not similar. But we'll see. I'll let you know in a minute. But before I get into that, let me just move forward to the next thing. So, our sponsor for this segment is Global 7. Global 7 is a transportation company, but it's not just about the transportation. It's about the experience that you get. They're based out of New Orleans, Louisiana. Monday is the owner and CEO and make things happen. He's kind of like or Global 7 is kind of like they provide transportation, right? But they do it in a way where they're kind of like a mobile concierge as well, right? So things that you want to do, points of interest that are going on within the New Orleans area, he'll be able to, explain that stuff to you, what's going on, traditions, the culture, all that kind of stuff, the vibe of New Orleans. He'll be able to explain that stuff to you as well. Great guy, used to live here in LA, but originally from New Orleans and moved back several years ago and started his own transportation company. So if you need, an Escalade, if you need, what do you call them, the Mercedes-Benz Sprinters, 40-passenger bus, whatever you need, whatever your transportation needs are, make sure you reach out to Monday at global7.com, which is the email address. You can go global7.com, the website, and you can get his phone number. You can call him, let him know Russell Hotel sent you, okay? And he'll take care of you, okay? But it's not just about the transportation. It's the whole experience, okay? So, boom. Didn't that sound like a commercial right there? Sure did, didn't it? Okay, so the topic for today is this: how to be synonymous with your brand. Now, I always, this is as a salesperson, and this is kind of a little different, but as a salesperson, I always tell people they should strive to be synonymous with your brand. So when you think of your brand, you think about Russell. When you think about Russell, you think about the brand, right? So they go hand in hand. You can't think about one without thinking about the other. Well, these are a couple of different tips that can assist you with that. Yeah, so that's what I'm gonna talk about today, right? So just real quick and dirty. Doesn't have to take that long. Before I get into this, and maybe I should wait. I'll mention it right now, but then I'll mention it after I finish, going through these 5 steps. So it's not a lot, right? Today I'm doing a LinkedIn Live with Victor Simmons on personal branding. Okay, you may want to tune in for that. It's going to be on Victor Simmons' page, last name Simmons, and it's going to be about personal branding. It's going to be today at 3:00 California time. He's on the East Coast. I'm on the West Coast. I'm in Los Angeles, obviously. Well, I think I mentioned that, or I think it scrolls at the bottom that I am in LA. But yeah, so we're going to do that together. We had planned to do this several weeks ago, but schedules didn't permit for us to do it then, but we're scheduled to do it today. Okay. So 6 o'clock East Coast time, 3 o'clock California time. So I'll mention it again before I get off of this thing. And if you have any questions at all, you can ask me at that time or just email me and I'll give you my email address. But yeah, so that's supposed to be today. Looking forward to that. We want to talk about personal branding. He's going to ask me some questions on how I started, that personal brand journey, starting from just Russell Edmond to Russell of Hotels, how I started it and how, consistency is the key, all that kind of stuff. Some of the things that I talk about all the time. Well, he's going to ask me some questions and we're going to have a conversation about it. So it's not an interview because I'm not trying to get a job. He ain't trying to get a job. It's just basically having a conversation, right? And then, some people may be interested in knowing that journey to starting off, from square zero to a brand. Okay, so there you go. But anyway, the topic for today is how to be synonymous with your brand. Let's get started. Being synonymous with your brand means that your brand is closely associated with certain qualities, values, and characteristics in the minds of customers. Here are 5 steps to achieve this, right? So I'm gonna go in order here. Consistent brand message. Ensure that your brand messaging is consistent across all channels and touch points. This includes your website, social media, advertising campaigns, customer interactions, and any other communication platforms. Consistency helps reinforce your brand identity and make it easier for customers to remember and recognize your brand. So, like say in social media, right? So when I post things at the end of everything that I post, like if I do a posting or anything on social media, it can be on IG, it can be on Instagram, it can be on LinkedIn, doesn't matter. At the end of whatever, if I'm talking or whatever, at the end of it, you're going to see my brand logo. Always going to see it. It's going to say Russell of Hotels, and it's going to say maybe hotel site selection or content creating or something like that. But the logo is always going to be there, right? So it can be flashing, it can be this, it can be that, but the design of the logo is always going to be the same. It has to. You want to make sure that you're sending a consistent message, right? So if you're writing letters, if you're sending emails, make sure your logo's on there, and that way it ingrains in people like, okay, Russell's sending me this, and oh my God, okay, he's with Russell of Hotels. Oh, that's his logo, whatever the heck that is. You want people to start associating that with you and you with that, right? And that way there's no confusion, so to speak. The next one, deliver on brand promise. Consistently deliver on the promises and values of your brand or what your brand stands for. If your brand promises exceptional quality, outstanding customer service, or innovative products, make sure to consistently deliver on these promises. Meeting or exceeding customer expectations builds trust and reinforces your brand reputation. Yeah, you always want to make sure that you're delivering on the promise. If I tell my client, like just a couple of days ago, I got a new client, right? Oh, congratulations to me, right? Got a new client as far as hotel site selection is concerned, right? She wants to plan something over in Concord, Massachusetts, okay, of all places. I didn't even know the history of it until I started looking at it, right? So now I know the history, but anyway, that's a side note. But I told her that, okay, I told her how I operate, and I'll, contact you at this certain time, this day and time, right? Because I was working on some things. I said, once I complete that, I'm going to contact you. And I did as sure as I promised her a couple of days ago, today I reached out to her. She goes, oh my God, you said you're going to reach out to me, by this time. And you did, and that's the thing. People listen. Customers do listen. Clients, potential clients, they do listen to what you tell them. And if you don't, if you fall short of that, of that promise, they'll remember that and they'll call you on it later. So make sure if you promise something, make sure you deliver the promise, okay? You have to deliver on the brand promise. If I say the brand's going to call you and we're going to get started with this thing, make sure you do what you say you're going to do, right? Because people remember stuff that you tell them. So I did that, and, did it make me feel good? Yeah. Did she remember that, right? That I said I was going to call you on Thursday by 10 o'clock in the morning, and we're going to, go forward with this. We're going to move forward. And I told her what I was going to do, and I already sent out the RFP. So I'm waiting for the RFP to come in. I said, every step of the way, I'm going to let you know what's going on. I'm going to be transparent with communication between my hotel partners in this particular city as well as I'm going to share the information with you as well. Okay, so I'm gonna get it first, and then I'm gonna share it with you. She goes, "Oh my God, okay, thank you so much. I'm looking for a long-term partnership." And yeah, I said, "Hey, that's exactly what I'm looking for as well." But it starts with the brand promise and making sure you hold up your end of the bargain. Okay, so boom, there you go. Build emotional connections. Create emotional connections with your audience by telling compelling stories, engaging with them on a personal level, and appealing to their emotions. Emotionally resonate branding helps forge deeper connections with customers and makes your brand more memorable and meaningful to them. Yeah, so make sure there's some connection so they can attach to that emotionally, whatever the heck that is. Um, I think I shared with her when I first started my business, and how it was similar to her starting her business as well. So she's doing like a self-help kind of groups, and she's taking them to certain part of the U.S. and they're going to talk about certain things or whatever philosophies and all that stuff. And I said, that kind of brings me back to when I first started, my venture as far as Russell of Hotels. I mean, it's totally different, but kind of the same feelings and all that stuff. So they have that emotional connection to what you did because it's similar. Some of the emotion that you had when you started your own business is similar to what she's going through now, right? So that's where that emotional connection, and that's what you want, right? They want to be able to connect with you emotionally, then that way, like, oh my God, he's the right person for this job, right? Because that's what it all comes down to that. Provide exceptional experiences. Strive to provide exceptional experiences at every touch point of the customer journey, whether it's through your product service interactions with staff or overall customer experience. Aim to exceed customer expectations and leave a lasting impression. Positive experiences create loyal customers who become advocates for your brand. Yeah, the more people are happy with what you do, the more people they're going to tell about what you did for them. And that's what I want, right? So when she mentioned, I want a long-term relationship, and then there's a lot of people that, basically do what I do, and they're going to need help as well. And I don't have a problem with, introducing you to them, basically providing, that I'm doing a good job for her. If I'm doing a good job for her, she's going to tell other people. And that's what you want, right? So provide exceptional experiences. It's not about just doing the task or whatever it is. It's following through and providing an experience. This whole thing is a journey for her because it's brand new to her. She didn't know where to start as far as I just know that I come with this concept and I want to have, I want to, teach people this, these business practices or personal things or whatever the heck they are, right? She wants to be able to teach people this stuff, right? Well, okay, I understand that. So it's all about the experience. So my job is to make sure I hold up my end of the bargain, meaning you don't have to worry about that stuff. You worry about the content. My job is to find the location for you, okay, that resonates with you. You're the one who's got to sign off on everything, but my job is to take that off of your plate. And that way, if I have to go out there and take a look at it and make sure it's right for what you're telling me, your philosophy with your organization, and making sure it's a good learning experience for not just you, but for your attendees as well. So yeah, my job is to take that off their plate. Her job is to concentrate on and focus on the content of the exact meeting, what they're going to be talking about and all that. But if they want like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and they need 100 rooms a night for 4 nights, and the pattern is Thursday through Sunday, that's my job, right? That's what I deal with, right? That all she has to do is tell me one time, and that's it, right? And then I come up with those, whatever she's asking for. That's my job to find that. So she didn't have to worry about that at all. I take that off of her plate so she can just concentrate 100% on the content of her meeting as well as the client. Because she said, I don't want them to want for anything. I just want them to just walk in and the hotel shows them the way to where they need to be. Boom, got you. Okay, so that's what I do. And then the last one is consistent brand visuals. Maintain consistent brand visuals, including your logo, color palette, typography, and visual style. Consistency in visual identity helps create a cohesive brand image and makes your brand more recognizable and memorable to customers. So if I'm, wearing my hat, my Russell of Hotels hat, they remember that. But it has to be consistent. Like I can't, change the design of it. It has to be consistent. I do kind of experiment with different colors, but the logo is still the same. It may be a white, it may be a black, color in color, but for the most part, because I want to make sure I match what I have on, right? So if I got to have a tan one, a tan logo, a black logo, a red logo, whatever, I'm gonna make sure because you got to be color coordinated too, right? But the image is the same, right? What it looks like is exactly the same. So you have to be consistent with that. Even on your email, your fonts and all that stuff have to be consistent because people get used to seeing things a certain way. And if you start changing things, you start trying to be flashy and all that stuff, it gets caught and people don't have that emotional connection with it anymore. Like, did you change something on this? This is so inconsistent. And, without even knowing, they just say, you know what, I'm not interested in it anymore, for whatever reason. So there you go. So once again, consistent brand messaging, deliver on brand promise, build emotional connections, provide exceptional experiences, and consistent brand visuals. That is the key to being synonymous with your brand. Okay, there you go. These things don't have to be long. And as always, questions, if you have questions at all for me, you can always reach out to me, Russell at russellofhotels.com. I'm always available to answer questions. If you want to pick up the phone and call me, feel free to do that. Go to russellofhotels.com. That is my website. My phone number's there. Pick up the phone and holler. So, one thing that I always make sure that I am, and that's accessible, okay? So I'm 100% accessible to people. So you can never say that, I tried to get a hold of you and you didn't call me back, or I couldn't get a hold of you. I never returned phone calls or didn't return emails. No, I couldn't find your phone number. I couldn't find your email. No, you're lying, because I make myself 100% accessible, because I'm only as good as the people that get back to me, right? I look for new clients all the time. Right? I need more clients. I have to grow, right? In order for me to grow, I have to put out my information out there so people will find me. And speaking of finding me, this last client that I just got a couple of days ago, she found me on Facebook, right? Because I do these lives, and these lives are live on Facebook, live on LinkedIn, YouTube, and X, or Twitter. X is Twitter, just so, for people that didn't know that. So they found me on that. She said, and she knew me, but she didn't, and she kind of knew what I did, but because she kept seeing me as a, repetition, I do a daily check-in 4 days a week. I do On Air with Russell of Hotels once a week. So that's 5 times a week that I'm doing a live on one of those platforms, okay? Or I do one form of content, but it of course, it transmits to all those platforms. So one form of content, one show goes to 4 different platforms. That's what you do. That's how you should do it. So that's how she found me, right? So then people always say, well, you sure do this a lot. Well, why do you do it so much? That's exactly why. Because it's not for the people that have seen me. It's for the people that haven't seen me, or they haven't reached out to me yet. Okay, so consistency is the key when it comes to social media. Okay, social media can be good. It can be bad. I understand it. There's a lot of negative crap in social media. Hopefully this is not negative. Hopefully this is something that is there to help someone when you need the help, right? So, and I know that I know that timing's everything. And like today, everybody's like, I'm not going to get a rush on emails that say, hey, I need some help. That's just not going to happen, right? It's timing is everything, right? So it's when your time, that's when you reach out. But in the meantime, I have to be consistent about sending my message out. So let's just say I took some time off and I didn't do it. Well, would she have seen it? I don't know. That's the thing. So I'm always in that I don't know phase, and that's what causes me to continuously put out content so people know who I am, what I do, and how I can help. And as a result, that's how that's how I got my last 2 clients, because of social media. So there you go. And these are long-term clients. So there you go. That is my story for today. Once again, this is Russell of Hotels. I do a daily check-in Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I do On Air with Russell of Hotels, which is that live hospitality talk show. Everybody's talking about it. That comes on Tuesday at 1 o'clock PST. And once again, I want to let you guys know today, live on LinkedIn on Victor Simmons' page, Simmons, we're doing a live on personal branding, building your personal brand, all that kind of stuff. So make sure you guys tune into that. That is today at 3 o'clock PST or 6 o'clock East Coast time. So there you go. Until later on today or till tomorrow when I do another daily check-in, I'm Russell of Hotels. Thank you again for joining in, and you guys have a great day. And as always, peace.